Okay, so I was already going to film this video, record this video, whatever you want to say. And then something else happened today to make it even more relevant. Don't you love when that happens? So good. So I was gonna call this video "The Best Is Yet to Come." Okay, still totally valid because I do want to talk about that. But also, plot twist. Today, what happened? What happened today, Amy? You know, good question, because I feel like I've said something happened today, and something did happen today. So I just came out of some legal stuff, as one does. I am not a criminal. Maybe I should say that. Not yet. Not yet. You know, this is as of October 2023. I am not a criminal. But as you go through legal things, people will absolutely try to attack you. And the trick is to use attacks as fuel. And it's a lot easier said than done. And I do think that I vacillate because we're allowed to have emotion, right? So if somebody is attacking us, we are allowed to feel like, I don't like that, or that's frustrating, or they struck a nerve. They knew exactly what they were saying, because usually people know exactly what they're saying when they try to get under your skin, right? They know where it'll hurt. And also move through it and say, okay, yes, they knew exactly how to get under my skin. These are the things I'm already telling myself. The goal is to recognize this is my inner critic voice. This is the voice that I am combating every day I wake up. Every time I go to therapy, every art piece I make, I am trying to encounter my inner critic's voice and move through it and say, the inner critic is not a truth teller. All right? The inner critic is not a truth teller. The critic is the thing that wants you to be stuck where you are. The inner critic wants you trapped. The inner critic does not want growth or movement. The inner critic does not tell you you deserve growth or movement. And you do. So the inner critic is a liar. So this is what was said to me today. A hobby is a hobby, and a job is a job. And that was said to me about what I am trying to do now. And I thought, okay, yeah, that is my inner critic voice. A hobby is a hobby and a job is a job. In the art lab in September 2023, if you're not familiar with the art lab, it's a group that I run where every month we have a prompt and we learn about an artist and we get together and we converse, and basically we just take information and we filter it through us, and then we allow it to give us the output we need. All right. And because I truly believe, truly, that everything is about everything, that if you are open and willing and you are ready to do the work, that it will intersect, the prompt, the artist, whatever, will intersect with exactly what you need to kind of work through. All right. In September, we learned about Grandma Moses, and she is the gift that keeps on giving. Let me just say that. And it's funny because I'm not directly inspired by Grandma Moses's art. I love I feel like I'm indirectly inspired though. I love the nostalgia. I love her story. I'm not like a painter. My work isn't very pastoral. I just feel like she's a lot of things I'm not. And yet she's a lot of things I am. And I think that's very cool too. So we can all kind of tell the same story and do the same thing with our own voices. And her voice is just different than mine. But I feel like we're saying some of the same things. And I love that. So she is the gift that keeps on giving in just this unexpected way. Because truth be told, I wasn't actually that excited to use her work for the prompt. Gift. She's a gift. Here's the thing with Grandma Moses, is that she didn't start painting until she was 77. And she found absolute wild success. All right. So she lived until she was 101. So for decades, she painted. All right. 77, she started the thing that became her thing. She believed something that I think is critical. So last weekend, I was visiting a friend in a small town, as I do. We have slumbies. Another friend and I go up And the three of us have these slumbies and we do PowerPoints. If you know, you know. And I decided the question of the weekend was, do we believe in love? It's funny when you ask people things like, do we believe in love? The answers you will get, because we all have this desperate need to feel seen and heard. And if you are positioning yourself in a way that lets people know you want to actually listen to them, you'll hear their story, and it's a gift. So I thank the people in this small town who are willing to tell me their stories. It's an honor to hold them. And this young woman, no less. She was like 26, young mom, single, really feeling like she was kind of floundering in life. I mean, she's just feeling directionless and like, I think just stuck in life and discouraged. And in her, I saw this feeling, this stuckness, this where do I go from here? Where's the hope? I saw myself. So I took her and I looked her in the eyes and I said, your best days are ahead of you. Keep going. And she was like, I needed that. And I was like, I know you did. But I thought about myself, and I'm 41. And, you know, I'm trying to believe my best days are ahead of me. I just have to keep going. And I immediately thought about Grandma Moses, 77, starting to paint. And I thought about Grandma Moses meeting me and saying, do we believe in love? And maybe my own feeling of stuckness or fear or worried that where do I go from here? And I thought of Grandma Moses grabbing me and looking me in the eyes and saying, your best days are ahead of you. You just have to keep going. Because Grandma Moses, to do what she did at 77, she had to believe that her best days were ahead of her. And I really think that the belief is what makes it so. The belief in whatever, the belief in love, the belief in freedom, the belief in forward movement. It's that belief that makes it so. You just have to keep going. And sometimes I think about this and I think, okay, my belief will keep me going, but how much belief is enough belief? How do I know that I've believed that the scales will tip and the universe will work for me and this will all fall into place? And coming from a really religious background, I have a very complicated relationship with religion right now. So whether or not you have a complicated relationship with religion or you don't have an uncomplicated relationship with religion, maybe you hate it, maybe you love it, maybe it's something you take part in and you cherish the community, or maybe you have rejected it because it has hurt you too many times. Wherever you fall on this, I get it. I see you. And however you fall on that spectrum, it's valid. And yet, because of my religious background, there is a lot that I do believe, a lot of lessons, a lot of essential lessons I have learned from the Christian Bible. And one of those that came to mind as I was thinking, how much faith is enough faith? How do I know I've tipped the scales and that the universe will work for me? And I thought, faith as small as a mustard seed. It's right there. It's right there in the New Testament. Faith as small as a mustard seed. And I really believe that that's all you need. Just enough faith to keep you going. And that doesn't mean every moment you'll believe. You might, I've said to my therapist before, I'm scared it's not going to work out, but that's not going to stop me from trying. And I think that's it. I think that's the faith the size of a mustard seed. So when I think about turning my hobby into a job, saying it's important enough, I get to do this. This is where the universe is calling me and leading me. Who knows what it'll look like in 6 months, a year, 2 years? I don't know. All I know is what it looks like right now, and I truly believe I am taking the next right step. I believe that. Enough to keep me going. There are moments where I'm like, what am I doing? I am being foolish. I am wasting time. I'm wasting money because it's not practical. But if it's what the universe is calling you to do and you don't do it, it will just find the next person who will. And I don't want it to find the next person who will. I want to be the person who will. I am the person who will. And that doesn't mean that every moment I have to have this firm resolve that, yep, I believe for myself, everything will work out. I believe my best days are ahead of me. I believe I can take this hobby and make it a job. But I believe enough to keep going. And I think that amount of belief is what will make it so. And let it be so.